Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or to sell real estate with Colorado's real estate authority. That is Barb Schlinker. Barb is a retired Navy veteran. Barb's an author. Barb's a pilot. And Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air Your Real Estate Voice. We air that show every Saturday. If you can't listen to the entire show, it is always available on YouTube, on all of the podcasts, and it's easy to find them by going to barbhasthebuyers.com. Plenty of links there, or just go ahead and search Barb on most of the podcast platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio, etc. Every week, Your Real Estate Voice covers great information about the housing market, the very latest on that, the rates, all of these things. And it's your largest asset, your home, that we're talking about. Barb, what will we be talking about today?
Well, I'm excited about today's show, Richard. We've got a lot of interesting topics we're going to cover. The first one is about what's the market going to be doing for the rest of the year. I think people will be surprised. If you look at the national press, it's not the same as what's going on right here in Colorado. So I can't wait to cover that. And then also we're going to talk about having to sell either your home if you're going to a senior care type living situation, or your family's home if they happen to pass away. That's quite a big project for most people. And we're going to go into some detail and some tips to help you get that right. And the third one is how to sell a home in a competitive market. It actually is a competitive market here, all up and down the Front Range. And then we're going to talk about how to get the most money when you sell and our hot new listings coming up. Richard?
Barb, the Fed just raised interest rates 0.25%, and I'm not sure if that has an instant direct impact on mortgage interest rates. How do you think a rise in interest rates is going to affect the housing market?
Well, it really depends on the price range of the home, Richard. Obviously, the first-time home buyer is probably more affected when the interest rates go up because it's all about payment and affordability. But for a lot of people, especially the mid-range and even the higher price points, they are not affected by these interest rates hardly at all. In fact, we're still getting bidding wars on many homes. And what's happening right now is there's actually an increase in the demand for mortgages and houses, and there's low inventory. You would never would have thought that even from a year ago, the same time, there's low inventory of available homes. And I think part of that is if people don't have to move and they happen to get one of those really low interest rates, 2.5% or 3%, if they move right now, they're going to pay a higher amount for their mortgage. They will have more equity, which is a good thing, so they could put more down. But I'd say a lot of people are just deciding to not move. So that's partly why we're seeing low inventory. Plus, there's an increase in the formation of households as well. And we're also seeing a low unemployment rate. So all these factors play into it. So I kind of think last year, what happened when the Fed started stepping on the gas on interest rate, it did definitely affect the market, especially in the Colorado Springs area. We actually corrected about 11%, but we have since come back all the way from that deficit last year. And I think the Denver metro area, not quite so much, and they're just flying high, doing great. And so basically, new built homes, actually the demand for new construction has gotten higher as well. I'm working a transaction right now with a client, and those builders will not accept a sale contingency. If your home is not sold, they won't even start building your house or let you do a contract, which is really interesting. Most of the time when you have more of a what they call a buyer's market, where there's a flood of homes for the buyers to choose from, usually when that takes place, the builders are much more flexible about sale contingencies, but they're not going to get stuck like they did back in 2008. So they're being super careful about who they execute a contract with. Even mortgage applications have gone up. Unemployment is down right now. inventory of homes is, some of this is seasonality. So if you look at this chart, it looks like a bunch of rolling waves, but that is a seasonal thing. So typically, any given year, the inventory of available homes in January is pretty low. It peaks out in the summer and then drops back down in the winter. The thing that was interesting to me is the number of active listings compared to a year ago at the same time is less than it was. And there's, of course, as you go up in price, there's fewer buyers that can afford the higher price homes. But it's really interesting right now, even like in the kind of in the 600s price range seems to be the hottest price range at this point. My partner just put a listing on the market today. Day one, they have 15 showings. That's amazing. So obviously it's priced right. It's a good location, nice lot, and boom, you get a bunch of buyers. I looked at overall stats for Colorado to see how much impact it would have for the payment to go up by $1,000. Now that's a lot of money, actually. Even if the rates go up 1%, yeah, it's going to kick some buyers out of the market. But what I've seen the first time home buyers do is they actually have been, they'll rent for a year, they'll save a bunch of money, and then they'll just come in with a big down payment. And rents are high as well. But home ownership overall is rising above the 2019 levels. Number of households are a lot more. And so I think it's a good market, even though maybe the national picture is not the same. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. I'm also the broker and owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyer's team. And we're talking about the current housing market and where we think it's going to go the rest of the year. And that's what we're going to be really focusing on in the next segment, is where is this market going into the future? Now, nobody can 100% accurately predict the future. That's my disclaimer. All you can do is look at trends to see what's happening. And I'm seeing some really good trends right now. So if you are thinking of making a move and you'd like to talk to myself or my team about getting your home sold, right now, we're seeing a higher demand for homes. We have over 27,338 buyers just on my website. Typically, I can find at least 100 that would be a high match for your home. So if you are thinking of making a move and you'd like to get an in-home consultation on what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale, go to barbhasthebuyers.com, click on Find My Buyer, or give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
Barb, we're discussing the Colorado housing market predictions for 2023. So, Barb, what is trending in the area right now?
Well, it's a big surprise. The inventory part is really interesting to me. So I went back just, the Denver Metro hasn't come out with their stats yet, but the Pikes Peak did. And so I look back on the number of available homes at the beginning of the month. In June of 2022, it was 2,100, 21 and some change. But in June of 2023, it's 100 less homes are currently available. Only just over 2,000 homes currently available for a city the size of almost 1 million. That's very, very low inventory. But it still doesn't mean every home is going to fly off the shelf. There's a lot of factors, which we're going to get into, to get your home sold if you are selling for top dollar. But what we are seeing as compared to February of this year is our average days on market have dropped from 54 days all the way down to 23 days. That's for the homes that are going under contract. And the biggest trend that really jumps out at me, if you look at this blue line, I'm not going to ask you to read the numbers, but since February, the average sale price for a home has steadily gone up, and we're almost exactly at the number we were at the peak of the market when the rates were at 3% last year in April of 2022. So I don't see this market going backwards at all. I think it's only going up from here. It doesn't matter what the Fed does with interest rates. Maybe if he goes up to 9 or 10, people might think twice, but I sort of feel like the younger generation, they were getting sticker shock at first, and they're like, okay, what's going on? The first quarter was very interesting because a lot of people were getting nervous about bank failures, but now it's just they've gotten over it. A lot of them rented for a year instead of buying a house. They saved a bunch of money and they're out there buying houses again. So it's still a great place to live. It's a beautiful place to live. And I just don't see, mortgage rates hovering around 7 or 8% really adversely affecting this market right now. I checked on interest rates yesterday morning. A 30-year fixed average rates just over 7%. The government loans are a little bit less than that. So a lot of people choose to go for a government FHA or VA if they qualify, if they're a veteran. And we're actually going to talk about the veteran home loan next week. And the reason why I want to cover that topic, Richard, is especially in areas where you don't see a lot of VA home loan transactions. A lot of home sellers are very reluctant to accept a VA loan because there's this weird perception out there that it's a hard loan to get, but actually it's one of the easiest loans. So I'm kind of excited about talking about that. But if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. She is your voice when it comes to buying and selling real estate. And if you're thinking of making a move, just call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking about top tips to help you sell your parents' family home. You don't want to miss that.